Good morning, guys. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Let's go over Bitcoin here. What I'm seeing, there's a lot of debate right now whether this is a leading diag and we're working on some sort of deep two wave and we're off, or if perhaps we're in a fourth wave. A lot of people saying fourth is complete. If that's the case, I gotta say I disagree. There's no alternation here. Off log, it kind of looks like a little small in comparison to this too. We had a sharp zigzag here in two, so I would still be expecting some sort of sideways fourth here if we are in that bigger impulsive count. But let's start with the bull count here. So the bull count is we had a completed ABC. I think on linear this looks pretty good. You know, we have declining volume here throughout. Probably depends on what exchange you look at. No, declining volume here. So that is more indicative of a C wave here. I do like this count, but I think it very much so depends on what the S&P does. So I'm not claiming that the low is definitely in. I don't think there's enough here to have conviction either way. But let's go over the positives and negatives of both counts, and we'll try and determine where we can see that it's making more sense that the bottom's in versus the bottom not being in. So I'm going to start here on the bull count. The bull count, ABC down, like I said, declining volume. On linear, you have pretty good fib relationships. Doesn't even make the one-to-one. Little less common for a third. So if in the bearish count that everyone's saying where we're in an impulse, you would have to have a third that's shorter than the one, a fourth, and then a fifth that's shorter than the three. Kind of uncommon. On linear, it makes a lot more sense, but again, third still doesn't reach the 1618. So I don't know. I'm not sold on that bearish count yet. But if we make new lows here, then yeah, obviously it starts to look better. So like I said, ABC down, declining volume, channeling, bounced off the middle line here. That's quite common what you see in a C, but we're still in the channel. So too early to say that the bottom's in and we're bullish for sure. In this count, we have some sort of leading diagonal here. Now, you can dig into this subdivision all day fucking long, find issues with it. You can suit this subdivision to fit whichever bias you want. You really can. So I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to stay on this higher time frame and say, yeah, we had a choppy move up here. There's a diag in here somewhere, I believe, whether that's a leading diag like this or an ABC like this. You can fit it to either bias. Low time frame subdivision, I actually do think that this count is cleaner than this just being a straight up leading diag wave one. I really do. But put it into context, put everything together, and it really could be either or in my opinion. So let's stay out here on the bullish count. What do I expect in this count? Okay, so we're going to just assume in this count that this is a leading diag. Where are we after that? And again, you can count this however you want. You can fit it to whatever bias you want. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do a truncation here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is a truncation and this C actually finished here, then you wouldn't want to break this low. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to say this is a shitty move that can be fit to either bias. And what's more important than that is looking at this corrective move to determine if this is a leading or the ABC. So either count, we topped here. It's either a wave one or the C of an ABC. In this count, it's a wave one. Now, let's just clean this up. So in the count where this is a wave one, we're working on an A wave. I don't think it's done yet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the third. I still think we're coming down a lot deeper in this impulse. Something like that. You can maybe look for a short here on this fourth. I'm still short with a small percentage of my position. I took a lot of profit here, but so I think that in this count we're working on an A. Gonna come up here for a B, and then we're gonna come down here for a C. Shouldn't break the low if this is a leading diag. but leading diags can sometimes be very, very deep. So this is not out of the realm of like, oh, this doesn't make any fucking sense. It does make sense. It can make perfect sense that this is a leading diag with a deep retracement. That lines up well with my primary on ETH, where we're in an A, and ETH obviously has a lot more room to work with because it wasn't a leading diag. It was like a strong up move. But yeah, so I wouldn't want to see this A wave come down too much further than, say, the 707 maybe. Let's get that on. So kind of lined up there nicely. Obviously, we're gonna be at the golden zone soon. I expect a bounce out of this golden zone. I really do. I think the impulse will be finishing up somewhere in here, and then we'll get a B or a 2 in the bearish count. And we're like, either way, I don't think, I've seen some people say that maybe this is a running flat or a expanded flat. I don't think that's the case. Could it be? Yep, absolutely. It's not invalid, but I don't know. Not going to go there yet. But in either scenario, I do expect a bounce in here. So I'm looking to close all my shorts probably at this golden zone. Watch this pivot. You know, we could get a swing failure pattern here, go below, then bounce back above. You could look for a little long there, but I wouldn't carry that long too high. I'll be looking for shorts again here. And then this is the zone that I would love to load up in. Because in either scenario, as you'll see, I don't expect that we're in a impulse to the downside. But I'll go over that. I don't think this is the case. So in this count, what would we be looking for? I would be looking for this move to come down, a corrective move up, and then declining volume on this move. That would be more indicative of a C wave. Declining volume and less slope. If this is the end of the fourth and we're coming down here in a 1, 2, what the heck? I did not know you could do that. That was kind of cool. And we're coming down here in a third wave, we'd be looking for slope and volume to be picking up. We already have crazy steep slope here. Normally, wave ones do not look like this. They definitely can, but steep, big moves, more indicative of A waves, boys. Wave one, I would have expected something more like this. Now we're getting the extension in the third. I think you can see that up here. Look at this wave one. Correction finished here, wave one, small, 2, big, 3. This already looks pretty big. I think it's an A wave. Now, it could still be bearish in a bearish count, where we're in some sort of flat, or it could be this bullish count. And the more I look at this, I think everyone is expecting new lows. I don't have any confidence in this yet, but if we get this move, come back up for B, and then we're on declining slope and volume, I think we might be getting a deep 2 here in this scenario. So yeah, I wouldn't long yet. I think there's more to this impulse down. I don't have any conviction either way as to whether this is a leading diag or an ABC until we see what this move looks like. We're going to get a B at some point, I expect. Doesn't need to happen, but I think probability-wise, it's most probable. And then we'll have to see what this move looks like. If it's on declining volume, I would be looking to long somewhere in this zone. And this would line up with my ETH count, where we're in a 1 and we're working on a 2 or a B, and we're gonna come back up here. Let's flip over to the bearish count, ABC, and now we're heading down. Is the fourth in? Even in this count, I don't think the fourth is in because we have no alternation here. Also, this looks... So this is a zigzag, and I would be expecting a sideways here. The issue with a sideways here is that, again, I think we bounce here, come down here, and I think we're in some sort of flat. So again, I don't think this is a wave 1. It certainly could be, but I think I'm leaning that this is an A wave, either of a ABC2 or of an ABC flat, like that. Because we don't have alternation here. I don't know, the issue with this being a flat is very rarely, no, I shouldn't say very rarely, but uncommon to see a flat with an A wave like this and then a steep B like that. It's more common to see a flat where the A is steep, the B is drawn out, and then the C is sharp. So in a flat, little lesson here, you normally have two steep waves and one drawn out longer wave. Like I just said, it's normally the B that's drawn out, but it definitely can be the A, like this would be. It's just a lot less common. Trust me, you don't see flats that have this sort of shape too often. It's normally the A that's steep. Not invalid, just a guideline. But yeah, the more I look at it, I kind of think this is a leading diag, and we're just going to go for a very deep 2, and everyone's going to get faked out. But like I posted yesterday, it really, really, really depends on what the S&P does. Like, I think at the end of the day, the Bitcoin chart is kind of irrelevant right now. It only matters what this does. I don't think that if this moves down, Bitcoin has a chance at being bullish. So for Bitcoin to have a chance at being bullish, I think the S&P needs to be in this impulsive move. If we're in the bear count on Bitcoin, then I think the S&P would need to do this extended C, and we're heading down. So someone commented on one of my Twitter posts the other day. They're like, does Elliott wave ever have conviction? And it's a good point. Or it's not a good point. It's a good question, because it seems like, especially with my posts, I'm always saying this or this could happen, which is true. And most of the time, it is a little bit of a toss-up what's going to happen. There is conviction, and that's when you trade. So to get conviction on this count, we would want to see a flat here. Then we have conviction that we're going up for a fifth. Right now, we're in no man's land. Now, we're in territory where we cannot tell if this is going to be a 4 or head down. We have no idea. We can look at some hints. So what do you look for in an impulse? You look for the third of the third to break out of the base channel. That's exactly what we get. So there's a check for a third. You look for a 1.618 extension or more. We have more. That's a good indication of a third. You look for rising volume on a third. We don't have that. So there's a check mark for a C wave, an extended C. So it's a toss-up right now. I do think there's more going for this as a third than a C, but I'm not confident in it. I'm like 60-40 because I just said, okay, there's two things that look like a third, but there's one that looks like a C. We're also at this very important trend line here. So it's a toss-up right now. It really is. Anyone telling you they know what's going to happen is fucking lying through their teeth, or they're just not educated enough to understand that from an Elliott wave perspective, there's not enough to go on here to have confidence, in my opinion. Now, if you're putting your fundamental analysis into it to gain confidence in one direction, okay, I can respect that. Personally, I just go off the chart. And that's served me pretty well in the past, because when you let fundamentals get into it and you're reading headlines and you're going through all the CPI and inflation data, you're letting the chart is the truth. It is the truth of what people are doing and what the money is doing, whereas the fundamentals they can be interpreted multiple different ways. So I just go off what I know, which is the chart. Respect for the guys that highly understand the fundamentals and go through the research. I have mad respect for you guys. I don't do it. It's more difficult to me than just reading a chart. So I stick to the TA. I let the money tell me what it's doing. So right now it's 50-50 to me. I have to see what this move looks like. Does it look like, so we had a zigzag here. I'd be expecting a sideways here if this is a fourth. I would expect it to come down to fourth of one lesser degree in the third, which is right here. So do we find support here and then move sideways? Okay, now I'm starting to get some confidence that we're in a fourth. Okay, that looks good for Bitcoin. Or do we just plummet here next week and do a big one and we're heading way down? Okay, now I'm bearish. Right now, we're in a zone where I think you should be smart with your capital. Don't bet too heavily on one side. You can scalp the shit out of it if you want, but like really protect your money in here until we get some more confidence in which way we're going. ETH, I think ETH's the cleanest chart out of all of them. I think this is an impulse. I think we're in an A wave. And I think I'll be loading fucking ETH down here. Assuming, like I said on Bitcoin, that we get a steep A wave, a B up, and then we get a declining C. If this goes like this, I'm off the bull train. I want to see declining volume into this zone, and then I'll start loading up. Again, steep moves, more indicative of A. Doesn't mean it has to be, but I don't know. I'm ever so slightly bullish. Like I would say 55% to 45%. I lean bull case, but right now we're in a zone where confidence is you're being greedy if you have confidence in either side. And most people on Twitter will claim that they are confident, but I think that is just how do I say it? Not a rookie mistake, because a lot of people aren't rookies, but I think you need to wait for more data before you can be confident in either count here. Be willing to change your mind quickly given information that goes against your bias is my best advice. Okay, I've rambled on too much. Yeah, I'll update this when we have more data, when I can be more confident in something. But right now, it is really almost a coin flip, in my opinion, from a TA perspective. From a fundamental analysis, I don't know because I don't really do it. People do, and they may have confidence in the downside because the economics are so shitty. But right now, from a TA perspective, it's pretty even for me. I'm looking for shorts either way on both charts because I still do expect, I mean, I'll be looking for shorts when we come back up because I expect this in either scenario. This is a good place to short, in my opinion, once we get this bounce. Because in the bull case, this is an ABC, we're coming down. In the bear case, this is a 1, 2, 3, or an ABC of the B of a flat. In either scenario, the only scenario where this just goes from here is in that ABC expanded flat count that I don't like. So yeah, I think the next good play is taking a short on the retrace. Can you long this? Yeah, you could long this. I would wait for this impulse to maybe clear itself up and start to see some divergence, but longing B waves is not the greatest trade. It's a little more skillful. It's hard to know when to get out. It could be a flat, so maybe a little scalp up, but be very, very conservative with your targets. You know, like take most of your profit at the 382 if you're gonna scalp a B wave, in my opinion. Will I look to do that? Maybe. What you could do is wait for the bounce. A, 5 waves. B, then scalp this C wave. But again, you don't know how high it's gonna go. Not the greatest trade. This is a better trade. Short into this, look to take profit around here, and then look to flip long if it looks like a C. Okay, guys, rambled on for too long. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.